Hello guys, welcome back to our podcast session. I am Mitran here. With me, Madhusurya, Jivekta, and Kanishka are here to present a podcast about China's rise and its implication of India. So, in this conversation, China's rise as a global superpower is one of the most significant development of the 21st century. Its economic growth, military modernization, and technology advancement have made it dominant player of the world stages. So China has played a maximum role that has been a superpower, and they have been a globalized their sources. This has both opportunities and challenges for India. Given our geographical proximity and historical relations, we have to face both the challenges and opportunities. So let's dive into our section, guys.
Yeah, Mithran. So let's discuss more and more of examples today on this spiceable topic. Like China's journey from a developing country in 1980s to a global superpower in a model of a kind of innovative or a strategic planning and execution. It is now the world's largest exporter and has a massive influence on the global supply chains. So I would like to delve up in an example for my initial starts. So the Belt and Road Initiatives, that is BRI, involves multi-billion dollar infrastructure projects like railways, ports, energy corridors, and according to 60 plus countries, they signed up with projects like Gadar port in Pakistan and so on. So these developments encircles India strategically and reduces its influence in South Asia and Indian Ocean regions also. So India boycotted the RBI cities, overwhelming concerns, particularly over China, Pakistan economic coordinators, which passes through the Pakistan. So with your point, yeah, economically, China's growth has created a kind of immense competition for us, India. So their manufacturing sector is incredibly strong, which makes it difficult for us, for our Indian industries to compete them globally. So on the flip side, China is also a major trade partner, and we rely on them for its and machinery. So that's what a complex for us.
Yes, Jiva. It's not just about economics. As you said, BRI, China's Belt and Road Initiative, it is reshaping global trade routes and increasing its influence in Asia, Africa, and beyond that countries. And India has refused to join the BRI because of some problems, especially with projects in Pakistan occupied Kashmir. But this put us at odds with the countries that are benefiting from Chinese investment.
And then there's the military angle. The border tensions between India and China, like standoff in Galwan Valley in 2020, highlights how fragile our relations can be, and China's military modernization and assertiveness and in the Indo-Pacific region are major concerns for India's security. What's your opinion, Madhu?
Yes, Kanishka, and also don't forget about technology. Because China is a leader in areas like 5G, artificial intelligence, and renewable energy. While this presents collaboration opportunity, it also raises concern about dependency and cybersecurity. India needs to strengthen its own tech ecosystem to stay competitive. What's your opinion, Mitran?
So geopolitical implications are massive too. China's close ties with the Pakistan through a China-Pakistan Economic Coordinator (CPEC) like that, and it is influence in South Asia challenges India regional dominance also. So, where seeing countries like Nepal and Sri Lanka increasingly learning towards China for infrastructure investment, they have seeking like advancement in environment or infrastructure like China's has to be implemented in these those country also. So they are investing in the China's infrastructures to, nowadays. This is my point, guys.
So yeah, that's true, Mitran. But India has responded with initiative like the Quad Alliance with the US, Japan, and Australia. The Quad aims to counterbalance China's influence in the Indo-Pacific, but it's still a work in progress. India needs to tread carefully, as openly opposing China's could escalate tension. At the same time, India has been strengthening its domestic capabilities programs like Make in India. It is aimed to reduce reliance on Chinese imports by boosting local manufacturing, but progress has been slow, and we still depend on China for critical sectors like paramedicals and electronics. What's your opinion, Kanishka?
Public perception also plays a role. After incidents like Galwan, there has been a push for boycotting Chinese goods in India. While symbolic, such measures don't have a significant economic impact unless India can offer viable alternatives. What's your point, Jiva?
Yeah, but India has responded with the kind of initiatives like Quad Alliance with the US, Japan, and Australia. So that Quad aims to counterbalance the China's influences in Indo-Pacific, but it's still a work in progress. India needs to tread carefully, as openly opposing China's could be escalate the tension first. So here, what India needs to create a strategic rivalry and a border tensions like uh, between India and China, we have 3,400 kilometer stretches over. Okay, so with that unresolved disputes from the war since of 90s, by 20, I want to give two examples on this quote. Like in 2020, Galwan Valley clash resulted in the death of soldiers from both the side, from our side and as well as from that their end. So that exposed the fragile status quo along with the line of actual control. And the second one is like Doklam standoff by 2017. China attempted to build a road in a tri-junction area, that is which was near to Bhutan. So they promoted our Indian military responses. So this standoff also laid over 2 months and recent of 2 months, and then they highlighted the risk for the conflicts. So like that, what I'm coming to say is India is investing in the border infrastructures also, like all weather roads and advances airstrips. So, in this, what our Indian squad also aims to contribute towards the influencing of China.
It's not about the China rises also has a cultural and ideological implications. Its government's models and authoritarian capitalism stands the contrast of Indian democracy, even though this is creates a natural ideology divide, but it also gives an Indian an opportunity to position itself as a leader of the democratic world. So they have given enormous of democratic like opportunities to position itself. So it's not about technological improvement. China has given a many more improvement in the cultural norms also, even though they have brought the yield lands to biggest, and they have cultivated more things, and they have proven the uh, they are the first source to bring the cultivate non-cultivate land into a cultivate land also. So they are bringing themselves to improvement and investing their money to improve their natural resources also. This is my point, guys.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mitran. While compared to the large dispose that is counters of China's influence, India can even leverage its soft powers like its democratic institutions, cultural diversities, with a kind of initiatives like International Yoga Day and our leadership in the global south are a kind of few steps which India took as a right direction towards the influences.
So yes, Jiva, but still we can't ignore China's technological edge. Their investment in research and development far outpaces India's. To compete, we need to significantly increase funding for science, technology, and innovation, and also encourage a partnership between academic or industry and government.
And let's talk about an economic reforms. While India's GDP is growing, structural issues like bureaucracy, infrastructure gaps, and labor laws need to be addressed. And competing with China's isn't just about an external policies. It requires internal reforms to make an India more competitive.
So yes, on the global stage, India's approach to multilateralism is also a key. We have seen India taking a more active role in forums like BRICS and the G20. By leading such platforms, India can shape global narratives and policies to counterbalance China's dominance.
So even strategy rivalry Indo-Pacific region also China has been assertive. So then they have focused on China dominance in evident in massive trade imbalance with the India in 2023. India imports from China crossed around $100 billion, primarily in electronic and machineries, has the major role that have been played in the trade. While India export were significantly lower, this dependency poses a risk for the Indian economic. So the Indian government has imposed restriction on China's app and investment post Galwan. Like India has been like they have restricted the apps like TikTok, PUBG, everything they have been blocked from the Chinese government, leading to a push for the domestic alternatives. Same like that, they have Ladakh standoff continues strain in Indian China relationship. So, despite multiple rounds of military and diplomatical talks, along the line of actual control, LAC persists. The 2020 Galwan Valley clashes the market a significant escalation and recent infrastructure development by both countries in borders region reflect the highlighted security concern. They have been improvising the military power as a significant implement for India, particularly in geographical and economic and strategy dimension also. They haven't stopped in the technological improvement alone. They have focused for borders, then they are focused for trade flow, and they are continuing that. But Indian government has been stopped the import from China because the dominance of China for electrical items and machinery has been drastic, according to government rupees like $100 million has been crossed over the 2023. So they have stopped recently many importation, and the apps has been banned from the China. This is my point, guys.
Yeah, Mitran, it's a good explanation from your side. Coming up to summarize this, that is on what's the actual problem to China's rises. China's rise as a global superpower has a significant implication on us. So, coming to India, impacting areas like trade, securities, and some kind of geopolitics. Economically, China dominates the global supply chain with the kinds of pros and heavy influences with South Asia. Because they started a kind of initiative with South Asia, like Belt and Road initiatives. And they have created more and more of strategies, and even they have challenged India's Galwan Valley clash. So, coming on to the highlighting the persist tensions, while India has traded deficit with China's exports, our economic fluctuation or gets more vulnerabilities. So geopolitically, China was growing influence in our neighboring countries. So whereas China is getting more on their supply chain, and as well as coming compared to our neighboring countries like Pakistan and Sri Lanka, they are also challenging India's regional leadership. So prompting that India to strengthen our alliance with kind of Quad. So additionally, China's advancement in technology and infrastructure, they need to raise a concern about the climatical change also. And the trade present opportunities for collaboration, making India-China relationship a mix of competition more than often collaboration. So as of there are much of developments like coming on to the economic rise. They have a strategic rivalries as we all discussed, and on the trade tensions and economic competitions, even on technological race and geopolitical race. So I want to explain about collaboration and confirmation. So like on the climatical side where I mentioned, so both the countries among the world's largest carbon emitters, because we China and India is more on our population. Now, India stands first on the population. So that's what the current is. We overtook the China. So India is now on current population lead top list in the world. So like compared to that, India and China segregates more and more of carbon emitters, and it faces a similar kind of issues like rising sea levels and air pollution. So, joint efforts in renewable energy could make research and benefit for both the nations. So, balancing this such kind of pros and cons among the two countries can balance the competition and as well as make a good collaboration. And it will require our India to engage diplomatically, and we can strengthen its economy and military capacities.
So yes, and also it's also about resilience, whether it is in technological trade or defense. India must build self-reliance to reduce vulnerabilities and assert its position as a global power.
And we shouldn't ignore areas of mutual interest by collaborating on global challenges like climate change and pandemics. And India and China can find common ground despite their differences.
So ultimately, balancing competition and cooperation will be a key. India has the potential to thrive alongside China, but it will require strategic vision, bold reforms, and effective execution. The road ahead is challenging, but also full of opportunities. So yeah, thank you guys. So it's about today's podcast. We will see you tomorrow.
Thank you.